One significant account involves Yogananda's guru Sri Yukteswar. During intense Yukteswar was observed levitating above the ground. This ability is explained as a result of mastering prana, the life force which yogis can control to such an extent that they can counteract the force of gravity.
Miracle means like this. Everybody walks on the floor, you walk on the ceiling. Everybody swims in the water, but you walk upon the water. Please don't do these things. If you walk upon the water, where the hell will you swim? It's important. It's important that you don't do unreasonable things.
Nothing amazing has happened and I just could not believe it. It's not that some sadhu has performed it, but in his presence it has happened. So do you believe in these things?
Right now, let us say, you do not know what is electricity. Let's say you do not know. At one time people did not know, isn't it? Let's say you don't know anything about it. Now I will tell you, see, if I just go and touch a certain part of the wall, the whole hall will be flooded in light. Would you believe me? Would you believe me? No. Now I just go untouch it and suddenly the whole hall is flooded with light. Now I must be God or messenger of God or son of God or something, isn't it? Or in other words, anything that you do not understand, anything that is beyond your present level of understanding, that's a miracle for you, isn't it? Now, we are always looking for miracles. I can perform a miracle if you want right now. See, this bottle, whichever way I throw it, it'll only come down. Why are you laughing? This is a miracle that they discovered long ago. Isaac Newton discovered this. Even before him, it was only coming down. But since then, it's not a miracle because now we understand it, isn't it? If you do not understand the miracle of life, is there a miracle? There are two ways of looking at it. One way is, if you look at it, everything, every cell in your body, every atom is a miracle, isn't it? The way it's happening. Isn't it absolute miracle that you're sitting on this planet and talking about all these things when it is spinning at a tremendous speed? Isn't it a miracle? Isn't it a miracle that from two simple cells you become all this, now you can question so much the very process of life? Isn't it a miracle? So, one way of looking at it is, whole process of life, every bit of it is a miracle. Another way of looking at it is, nothing is a miracle. Everything has a basis to it. Everything in the physical realm is happening between cause and effect. Whenever you don't understand the cause of it, when you just see the effect instead of knowing the cause, you think it's a miracle. But all physical reality is happening between cause and effect. Is that so? So these are two ways to view it. One way, the way of the science is nothing is a miracle. Everything has an explanation, everything has a basis. The way of the mystical is everything is a miracle. But they are not different. They're same. We are talking in terms of science because the strongest aspect in you right now is the logic, isn't it? Isn't it so? If you try to discard your logic and try to be mystical, you will not be truthful to yourself. You will have to tell many lies to yourself, but still something within you will keep on bothering you with questions. Your mind has evolved to a point, your intellect has evolved to a point where you cannot avoid questioning, isn't it? When it's like this, it's better approach everything scientifically, logically. Otherwise, your mind will bother you. Today you may tell yourself, no, it's all God's work. Tomorrow morning your mind will pop up and ask an uncomfortable question. If you were very simple-minded, innocent-minded, then it would be okay to look at it that way. Now that you have a complex, questioning mind, you shouldn't talk about those things. You look at everything, that whatever happens, there must be a basis to it. I can do many things that you cannot do. You would think it's a miracle. It's not a miracle, it's just that you don't understand how it happens, so you think it's a miracle. Now you have a disease, let's say. Tomorrow morning if it's gone, your doctor and you would think it's a miracle. I don't think it's a miracle. First of all, as far as I am concerned, you have no business to be deceased. Okay? You have created it. The moment you become aware, if you stop creating it, it doesn't happen anymore, that's all. So, anything which is beyond the present level of understanding seems like a miracle. I don't understand your accounts. For me, it's all a miracle, the end figure that comes out.
So, Sadhguru, thank you for being here. What advice would you give someone with healing gifts, someone who can help people create miracles in their lives, to grow in service to the world?
See, miracle means like this. Everybody walks on the floor, you walk on the ceiling. Everybody swims in the water, but you walk upon the water. Please don't do these things. If you walk upon the water, where the hell will you swim? It's important. It's important that you don't do unreasonable things. Because if you do not recognize the miracle of your existence, right now see, we're sitting here. Maybe you're thinking we're sitting in Columbia University, but we are sitting here in this universe. We don't know where the goddamn thing begins and where it ends. We do not know its nature, and the damn planet is round and it's spinning, and we are sitting here and talking all this. Isn't it a miracle, I'm asking? Hello? Isn't it a miracle? So just pay attention, just tell me one thing that's not a miracle out here. What was yesterday's soil that you walk upon, today is a flower? What was yesterday's soil that you walk upon, today is the food on your plate? Yes? He agrees with me.
Food. We're good.
So, isn't this all a miracle? Hello? So there is no need for you to do something unreasonable. Miracles are just happening everywhere. Aren't they happening? Everywhere. You are a miracle, isn't it? Somebody gave you 2 cells, see how you become. Isn't this a miracle? So, those who have no eyes for life, they're too engrossed within themselves, they think they will perform miracles. No. What is magical for one person? Suppose I pulled out something from my pocket, let's say 500 years ago, and started speaking to somebody in India. If I said, I am the messenger or the son or himself, would you believe or no? Hello? What is one person's magic is another person's engineering. So this is why we are talking about inner engineering, where you can live magically, which is very important. This is magic, isn't it? Hello? Isn't this life magical? Everything about this? But unfortunately, most human beings are not experiencing it. Unfortunately, most human beings are muddled with their own logic and stuck in it so badly, they do not feel and enjoy the magic of their existence. If your perception is not muddled by your memory, this is very important because our entire education system from kindergarten to wherever you go, we are being made to believe memory is intelligence. Memory is not intelligence. All those who believe memory is intelligence are going to feel like idiots in the next 5 to 10 years when the artificial intelligence, when your little gadget starts doing better than you. Believe me, my phone can do 10 PhDs in a day. Yes, Aren't you finding this Google lady a miracle? She seems to know every damn thing, I'm just trying to think of something that she doesn't know. Everything that is about information gathering, remembering, keeping it in your memory, analyzing and throwing it out, a machine will do better than you. In the next few years, you just have to wait to feel like a fool. So, the significance of being human is just this, that we have a system which… just go by anything. Let's say your eyes. The visual apparatus started developing. Even now there are certain fish in the oceans where their skin became photosensitive. That means they could sense what is light, what is darkness. That is their level of seeing. From there, our eyes have developed to this point on this planet. Our eyes, our neurological system, our brains are the highest level of development that's happened. So our experience of life is capable of being magical. For all those of you who are trying to magic by snorting or smoking or something, let me tell you, a little magic happens there also. I'm not somebody to look at this as a moral issue. It is just that it's destroying the possibilities, that's our only concern. Isn't this the most sophisticated chemical factory on this planet? Human mechanism? Hello? Now the question is only, because you're all business guys, the question is only, are you a great CEO or a lousy CEO? That's all. If you're a great CEO, you will get what you want out of this. If you're a lousy CEO, you get tension, anxiety, misery. I get ecstasy. Thank you.
Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda is a spiritual classic that recounts many miraculous events experienced by Yogananda and other spiritual figures he encountered. Here are few notable miracles described in the book. Materialization of a palace. This event is recounted by Sri Yukteswar to Yogananda. Sri Yukteswar explains that his guru Lahari Mahasya had a transformative encounter with Mahavatar Babaji in the Himalayas. During this encounter, Babaji materialized a grand golden palace as a means to convey a profound spiritual lesson. The palace was not just a visual apparition but felt tangible and real, complete with luxuries unimaginable in the remote mountains. Babaji emphasized that such material opulence is fleeting and ultimately illusory. The real treasure lies in spiritual awakening and liberation, moksha. By creating and dissolving the palace at will, Babaji illustrated the concept of Maya, illusion, teaching that the physical world is a temporary manifestation of divine energy, reviving a dead person. This miracle is part of the lore surrounding Lahari Mahasya. One of the Lahari Mahasya's disciples died unexpectedly. The community gathered for the funeral, preparing for the cremation rites. When Lahari Mahasya arrived, he saw the grief-stricken family and decided to intervene. He placed his hands on the deceased and invoked the divine power, focusing intensely on the revival of life. The disciple, to everyone's astonishment, opened his eyes and sat up, completely alive and healthy. This miraculous act demonstrated the profound spiritual capabilities Lahari Mahasya possessed and his intimate connection with the divine will, showcasing the potential of yogic powers when aligned with higher consciousness. Healing of a boil. This is a personal experience of Yogananda. Yogananda suffered from a painful and persistent boil on his arm. Choosing to rely on his spiritual practices rather than conventional medicine, he entered a state of deep meditation. He meditated fervently, channeling his inner energy and visualizing the boil being healed by divine grace. His focused intention and unwavering faith resulted in the boil disappearing rapidly, leaving no trace. This incident reinforced Yogananda's belief in the power of the mind and spirit over physical ailments, suggesting that deep meditation can harness the body's innate healing abilities when coupled with divine intervention. Levitation. Levitation is described in several instances involving various yogis. One significant account involves Yogananda's guru Sri Yukteswar. During intense meditative states, Sri Yukteswar was observed levitating above the ground. This ability is explained as a result of mastering prana, the life force which yogis can control to such an extent that they can counteract the force of gravity. Levitation serves as a physical manifestation of their spiritual achievements, illustrating their ability to transcend physical limitations. Such feats were not performed to entertain but to symbolize the yogi's detachment from the physical world and their mastery over the elements of nature through advanced spiritual practices. Bilocation. Bilocation is a recurring phenomenon involving advanced yogis, notably Lahari Mahasya. Lahari Mahasya was known to appear in two places simultaneously. For example, while he was physically present in his home, he was also seen at a distant location providing guidance and assistance to a disciple in distress. This ability to be present in multiple places at once is a demonstration of a high yogic siddhi, reflecting the yogi's transcendence over the usual constraints of time and space. Bilocation emphasizes the concept that enlightened beings can manipulate the fabric of reality, operating beyond the ordinary physical laws through their deep spiritual realization and connection with the divine. These detailed accounts in autobiography of a yogi are more than just supernatural. They serve to inspire and elevate the reader's understanding of spiritual potential. Yogananda uses these narratives to highlight the extraordinary capabilities that can be developed through dedicated spiritual practice and alignment with the divine consciousness. The miracles illustrate key spiritual principles such as the illusory nature of the material world, the power of faith and meditation, and the boundless potential of the human spirit when it harmonizes with the divine.